It's good to kick things off.
Totally. A little recap of the week, see what kind of shit we're both dealing with.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are the fires this week?
So we've been trying to figure out attribution, one of the problems that literally I think every business has,
Yeah.
and trying to figure out and track if someone converts from an ad, then they create an account, then they become a credit card free trial, then they eventually convert.
Yep.
And so over the last few weeks, we've been pulling data from here and from there and trying to figure out kind of where everything's at in order for us to actually utilize the data to make better decisions. And so last night we finally had enough data, but it's like 5 or 6 days of data of action coming in, and I was able to make a back of napkin math solution or something basically. So I'll just kind of go through this and see what you think on this. So since November 15th, so it's been 6 days, and I did this yesterday, so 5 days really. We've had 135 accounts created on Stammer, new accounts created.
Wow. In the past 5 days?
In 5 days, yes.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yes.
That's crazy. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. 9 of those 135 have already started a credit card free trial.
Nice.
That's 6.67%.
That's huge.
Historic, we convert at 50% from credit card trial to paid subscriber. So in theory, we've got like a 3.3 something percent conversion rate out of the entirety of the total accounts created during that period. Now, during that same period, we were running ads on Facebook, and we spent $124.97. Meta tracked that 36 accounts were created out of the 135.
Okay.
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 Now, if that's true, if Meta is actually tracking that correctly, which I think it is because we set it up to track it that way. Like it only tracks it if they get to that dashboard page after they create the account. So if we then take the data from here and then we take the percentages that from everything over here and we extrapolate that percentage over to the ads, if we essentially say 6.67% of 35 or 36 accounts, that's 2.4 credit card trials started.
Yeah.
50% of that, one person subscribed, roughly. Now, if we look at our acquisition, we paid $124 to get one paying subscriber who is a average MRR of $200, $192 per month, plus LTV around 2,000. So back of napkin math, big quote unquote there, is saying that we're over a 10 ROAS on our ads.
Lifetime value. Yeah. In
For
month one,
lifetime
we're
value,
at like
correct.
a 3.8 or 4 kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. This actually, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Does that all make sense? Like, is that logical to kind of interact? I can show my
Yeah, yeah.
screen.
Well, I'd be looking at it the same way. So out of the 120, you said 124 users,
135 accounts created total.
135, 36 of them came from Meta.
That's what Meta says. Yes.
Yeah, which is probably under attributing, to be honest. But I know that this is going to be close to accurate because we set this one up together. I remember doing this.
Yeah.
We're tracking page loads, not just button clicks. So yeah, I'd be doing it the same way. If your conversion from trial or if your conversion is, I think you said 3%, you're thinking about it in the right way. So you should get approximately 1 to 2 new users from Meta.
Yeah.
And then
so
the average order value you said is like $194 per month, something like that.
Yeah, total across all accounts, it's roughly it's like just a tad under $200 MRR. The out of the 9, only 2 people subbed at the starter plan, the 49 plan.
Nice.
So I mean, it's still tracking that everybody's still going for the agency plan.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat.
I think that makes sense for the way you set up your marketing material.
Yeah. Well, and it's very interesting because it's in one facet, it's like, oh, the ads aren't working, nothing's working, it's all failing. But then if we take a step back and just do some quick math, we're in industry standard ranges for conversion rate, like 3%, 3.5%. That's the number
That's above average for SaaS. For software products, 3% is amazing. And let's also remember, this is a good lesson for anybody running ads. You only spent $124. That's not even enough to come close to feeling a difference, right? And this is the tough part. If you're already making like 30K a month in MRR and then you spend $200 on ads, it's so hard to know unless you have perfect attribution. It's so hard to know if it's working.
Exactly. And that was always my issue. I was like, I don't want to just be dumping money down the drain on ads if I don't have any inkling of an idea of if this is working or not. But now I do, which makes me so much more confident of 10xing our budget like today.
Yeah.
Because now I know that it's actually
So now the
working.
question is, are the ads going to perform the same if you start to scale the budget? So question for you, are the creatives your face and are they advertised off of your Instagram account?
No and no. And we're getting
No.
well, so this is the second time I ran them. And the first time I ran them, they were getting a 7% CTR.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I turned it off. I turned it back on. Same campaign. Now it's at 4.63 CTR.
It'll probably climb the longer you leave it on if it's only been on for 5 days.
This one's been on all month. So
Okay.
from the 1st to the 21st, we've only spent $227.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
So it's still literally nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But 55 trials have been attributed from that 227.
So I think you know the next thing to do then. You leave this campaign on and you
For
start
sure.
to add in some budget.
Yes. And I think creative too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can start to test in new creative
Yeah.
for sure. Just
Yeah.
test it in a separate, what we've been doing is test it in a separate ad set and then
Okay.
use ABO. And that way you can isolate the budget for new creatives.
You're going to laugh. I'm going to show you this ad. You're going to laugh.
Okay.
I mean,
It actually feeds in so well to everything that I've been speaking to other people about this week.
Oh, nice.
$4 per trial. Holy shit.
Yeah. So like, yeah, right?
Oh my God, not this ad. Dude, this is the ugliest looking ad I've ever seen. I can't believe it's working so well.
It's working so well.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, can't knock what's working, right?
No, exactly, exactly. My opinion doesn't mean shit. If the results are there, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty exciting. And now what we're trying to figure out is speed to, and this going back to what we talked about last week. After we talked last week about how quickly iOS users can become paid subscribers.
Yeah.
I even just went through some apps myself and experienced that. And it's exactly what we were saying. You download the app, you log in, you create the account with your Apple ID or Google account, and then it brings you to a subscription page to start a trial. And and then double click Apple Pay, and then you're off to the races.
Yeah, that's it. It's ease of sign up for sure.
Yeah, and comparatively to ours, where there's literally 20 plus steps in order to get to that same function.
Yeah.
Where I'm now thinking of how do we reduce that as much as possible, reduce all that friction, get people to the subscription page as quickly and as easily as possible, and then hopefully the work that we're doing here, the accounts that are being created, we go from a 6.6% to a 12% from trial accounts created to trials started.
Right. Right. Yeah. Just by having ease to sign up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's and at that point, like, what is the best investment in our money? It's not necessarily the top of funnel problem. Like, we're getting accounts created. Now it's how do we turn those accounts created into paying long-term customers? So much more easier to do that with people who already know who you are and signed up versus trying to advertise to get people who have never heard of you before.
Yeah, that's true. The harder part is getting people to become aware of who you are. And you've already fixed that problem.
Yeah. And we were talking about this yesterday. Like, all the problems that we're having now are quote unquote good problems to have because it's all related to scaling. People are using the platform more than ever. And this time last year, we were talking about, how do we get new users? How do we get in front of new people? Like, how do we just get customers in general? And that's such a more stressful issue than it is with things that are more about like keeping up, so to speak.
And these are also more fun problems to solve because right now you're solving business problems. You're not solving marketing and awareness problems, right? Because the harder thing to do, I think, at least for me, the harder thing to do during my day is get eyeballs, make content, and get awareness rather than fine-tuning business problems and being a keyboard warrior and trying to like diagnose these minute little conversion issues. To me, that's more fun than actually making the content and getting in front of people.
For sure, same. And I think that keeps we come back to a recurring theme of how nobody really wants to put themselves out there and make content and do the thing. That is the fire to run towards. And I struggle with this every day still.
Yeah, but you practice what you preach. That's the thing. But okay, I want to get to the content thing in a second. This is covering so much of what my brain has been going through this week. So,
Nice.
Okay, first thing, I want to talk about the conversion issue. So even with iOS apps and Android apps, rather than just like web-based apps like Stammer, right? There is still the conversion issue. So I came across this one. I was speaking with a few larger iOS founders this week. One of them, honestly, it's absolutely crazy what I learned this week. But everybody is using Apps Flyer. I don't know if you've heard of this one. No, here, let me bring it up.
No.
Okay, sorry, Riverside is not cooperating. Okay, look at this. All right, so this is Apps Flyer. This is what everybody in the iOS world is using for conversion tracking. And there's a million platforms, and I found that there are some that are better for iOS and Android apps, and then some that are better for Shopify purchase conversion tracking, and then some that are better for high ticket lead conversion tracking, because normally the high ticket attribution window is outside of 30 days, right? So it's just outside of the range of what you can track in Meta or Google.
So are you referencing like Hyros and things like that?
Hyros would be ecom for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you have something like Northbeam, which is ecom. You have...
Got it. Yeah.
I'm forgetting. But anyway, there's a million of them. But yeah, this one is what everybody is using for iOS.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. So I was looking at that versus App Connect, which is like Apple's native backend tracking analytics. And it's 2 weeks delayed, basically. The attribution there is always behind. So everybody relies on Apps Flyer, which is, it embeds the same way. It's like a header code that you add into your app that tracks the source that the lead came from and then attributes it back to revenue.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's sort of the attribution thing. And then, there was one other thing that you said that I wanted to... What were we talking about? That's okay. It doesn't matter. We'll move on. Move on to the content piece.
Okay.
Okay, so content. Have you ever used TikTok Creator Marketplace or UGC platforms like Billow to make content?
Wait, TikTok what?
Creator Marketplace.
TikTok Creator Marketplace.
Do you want to show it to you? It's so cool.
Maybe I'm blanking. Show me.
Here, I'm going to show you. All right, so I just signed up for this today. Dude, it is the coolest thing. So Creator Marketplace is basically a place where I can launch an open campaign to try to get people who might be interested in producing content for my brand. So for our iOS app, because the app is not released yet, I am trying to build up a waiting list of people that might be interested in using it. And to do that, we're trying to send traffic to our landing page, right? But we still don't have the app, so it's just about building up a waiting list right now. So I launched this, which is UGC for an AI parenting app. And it's an open application area. So inside of it, right, okay, that's part of what I wanted to talk about, I remember now. So inside of it, I can see anybody that has applied to make content for us. Some of it is like useless creators, to be honest with you. But then others, it's so interesting. So they will give you, or I have added these people into the campaign, and I think that they would be a great fit for us. And then I set a price. So I said, for you to create content for me, I'd be willing to pay $420 is what I offered them. And I can look at this creator's profile, and I can show you how I came up with this rate. It was their average number of views. So ideally, if you're getting UGC created, this is advice that I got from the founder of Cal AI, which is one of the fastest growing GPT integrated mobile apps right now. They're doing over 600,000 a month.
Did you meet with him?
No, I met with one of the developers that worked on the apps. And he said, this is how you're calculating what to pay creators. It's based on their engagement rate. So ideally you want an engagement rate above 10%. This one's at 4%, so it's a little bit lower, but they have more followers. And you'll want to pay between $3 to $5 CPM. So if their average views is $200,000 and I wanted to pay dollars, so it'd be 3 times 200, I'd be willing to pay about $600 to get a video for this one. So I lowballed it. It's still $500 for a video. But yeah, so $420 is what I offered, and then this creator applied, and then I can view the stats on it, and I can approve their request. They already have my creative brief. They produce the content. They post it. They tag our Instagram page, or our TikTok page rather. So it's posted as a collaborative post, and then I can use it as a Spark ad, which is pretty cool. And
So it's like Upwork for UGC.
Upwork for UGC. That's it.
On platform, which is I think key, because I'm a part of so many other platforms that you still have to do all this stuff manually, and it's pulling in all the data manually.
Yeah.
It's so much better than what somebody says.
There's one for Instagram. Because we have a brand new account, we're not eligible for it yet, but we are eligible on TikTok. So that's where we're at. And then coming full circle, I want to talk about the iOS thing. This is super cool. You can go and view their statistics. So their percentage of the audience that is which gender, and then here their usage. 77% of the users that are consuming their content are on an iPhone. So here we go. Right, we're coming full circle to the iOS and Android thing. Mm-hmm. And these are the users that are purchasing most often. So this, to me, was like, it was just such a reassuring point when we were looking through, I think it's Mobbin. Yeah, we were looking through No, it wasn't Mobbin. It was Sensor Tower. And we're looking at the revenue for different apps. All right, okay, I updated my iOS, so it logged me out of everything. But anyway, you get the idea. We were looking at the revenue for different apps, and we found about 80% of the revenue is coming from the iOS version versus the Android version, right? And that's exactly what we're seeing in TikTok Creator Marketplace as well. Most of the views and most of the revenue is coming from iOS, which is pretty cool. So anyway, in the process of finding UGC creators, because it's just going to fast track it for me when it's posted as a collaborative post, and we can use it as a Spark ad. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also requesting that they do the same thing on Instagram. So hopefully it's just going to accelerate their growth. And then we're doing the same thing in, I'm working on this brief right now, but we're doing the same thing inside of Billow, which is like a UGC creation platform. So anyway, trying to double down on UGC right now because it's a brand new page. Mm-hmm. And we can have these collaborative posts that go up. That's just going to help us tap into other creators' networks.
The only one that I'm actually using right now is called Passion Fruit.
Okay, I haven't heard of it. I'll check it out.
Passionfruit.me. Out of all the creator UGC platforms that I've been invited to, this is the one that I'm actually, I actually took the time and set up my profile on their page, and I've gotten a handful of brand deals sourced through their platform. Now the downside is they take 15% from the creator. So don't like that, but
it's not great, but to be honest, it's not that bad.
Well, and their sourcing deal, it just pops into my inbox as, here's a deal that's good for you.
Right. Yeah. That's
awesome.
awesome.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. If it wasn't.
For it to land in my lap, I'd be less mad about 15% than something I have to work for and pay 3.9% like Stripe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to check that one out.
So now I think the correlation back to that is, so if we're talking about organic and creator UGC versus paid ads, and then compare that to some of those general statistics that I was just sharing, trying to figure out the alpha basically and what that will be, if it's better or worse to do paid creator versus paid ads. I don't know.
Well, the answer is both. I think we know what the answer is. You have to have organic content that's posted, whether you're the one making it or you're paying to get UGC content made. Yeah. You have to post it and then see how it tracks compared to your other content. So is it getting more or less views, more or less shares, more or less comments, better or worse engagement? What's the click-through rate? What's the 3-second and 6-second watch rate? So how does that compare to your other content that's being posted? And then if it is an outlier and it performs substantially better, like it's in the top 80% of your content performance, then you can add some money behind it and run it as a paid ad, provided it has the proper CTA at the end where it would function as a paid ad. Or just use the same video, add a CTA to the end of it, like make a new version of it, and then use that version.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people do that with variations of their videos, and that was that advice that we from that one other video that I share with you, where especially when trying to take long form to short form, having it be intentional with the questions that are asked so that way it can be cut up into short form down the road, rather than us kind of just droning on about a topic and then 7 minutes later it's finished.
Yeah, when you're making long form content, you should speak in short snippets so you can cut that portion and use it as the short form to promote the long form piece of content. And I wish I said that in less words so I could use it as an example.
Right. And when I was editing last week's, or like going through last week's, I could see that there were definitely points where if one of us re-recorded a hook in front of the answer, like the video would work really well, or more, I think better.
What do you mean? Like when you're done filming, you just re-record the hook?
Well, so like, for example, there were some times when we were talking about a certain topic and whoever introduced that topic would talk for 30 to 60 seconds as the intro rather than it being 3 seconds.
Right.
So instead of that being the intro hook, which no one's going to watch that video because it's just way too long, take the concept of that 30 seconds, cut it down into 3 seconds as a intro hook, re-record using the same close, and then film it and then just cut it in as it was, like it would be.
Yeah. I think when you get really good, you can do it live where someone tees up the question, the other person responds, and then it goes back to the first person and they just tee it up again in the form of a summary.
I think there are certain times where we had that.
We've done it organically. Like the most recent edit, it hasn't been published yet, but the most recent short from last office hours, it's sick.
It's pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah. I actually just got the notification that his revision's done. So I'll have to get that.
Nice.
Maybe get that posted today. Hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, so then the other thing I'm thinking about is holiday sales. So very, very big in the e-commerce world. Software, I think, is a slightly different game, but similar. And I think in the sense of trying not to create a discounted brand, rather than doing a discount, we're going to like a pay it forward type scenario where we might do like you get something more for purchasing now rather than later.
Yeah.
Versus doing like a 50% off coupon discount deal or whatever.
If it's on the consumer side, what I'm seeing work is referrals. So refer this to your friend or refer this to your spouse and you both get 3 months free. And then you just tack on another user and your ROI is 6 months from now.
That's interesting because we could do kind of like cash rewards to people's wallets.
Right.
It's like refer a friend and we'll put $500 in each of your wallets.
It's a good idea. And for you, it's just credit. It's nothing that they can cash out on.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not less revenue.
Yeah.
Or top line revenue.
That's actually something I learned from one of our e-commerce customers where I wanted to give a percentage off for Black Friday. And he said, well, we can do that, but my profit margin on this other product is 86%. So the perceived cash value of saying you buy this, I'll give you this. The perceived value is more than 50% off, but the cost difference to the business was actually much less. Because giving 50% off like the core product was a higher discount based on their margin on that product than if they just gave something else away for free. And the same thing would go for you, right? It's cheaper for you to give somebody a $500 credit than to even discount them on their subscription. And it's more meaningful for the customer.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because what you're selling something for is not what you are paying, right? It's not your margin.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it can be beneficial to you and the customer to include something else for free, to give something away that you're traditionally going to sell rather than discount your core product.
Yeah. And are most of those just done with like typical referral tracking?
I don't know about the software space because I'm kind of just getting into it and we don't have sales yet. But in the e-com space, you just do it inside of Shopify. So it's like when this person adds both these products to their cart, this second product is free.
Yeah, I'm thinking for referrals, it would have to be tracked with some sort of rewardful or tracking platform.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what platform you're coded on. Like if you're using React or React Native, yeah, you probably need some sort of referral network. If you're coding in like Swift or Kotlin natively, then you can set up native links to have that tracking embedded. So you kind of like build your own referral link.
Yeah, yeah, that's where it differs, I think, because everything on Stripe needs to have
Yeah.
something to to be able to
Yeah,
work
for
with
us,
that data.
we're using Apple.
Yeah.
But I mean, talk about talk about payment percentages. You pay 30% of the first year's subscription straight to Apple, and then 15% every year recurring. It is astronomically high.
That's yeah.
And
I
that's why
remember.
most web-based platforms like ChatGPT or Notion or Google, you set up your subscription on web and then you download the iOS app.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually, but right now we just gotta push the MVP, follow the cost.
Do you have a landing page up?
No, not yet.
Still working on that?
Well, we had a lead capture page, which I followed our method of like 100 most valuable resources for software, or like 100 most valuable ecom resources, something like that. So we did the top 100 most asked questions among parents, because it's a parenting based app. So, and then we ran a lead magnet ad and then pushed people to that lead magnet. And then we're adding them into our email list, sending them a welcome email along with the resource. And then we'll just continue sending regular weekly emails until everything is launched in January.
Is development underway? Do you think you're going to actually launch in January?
Development is projecting 2 months. Design is going to be done tomorrow. So we have onboarding done, MVP done, just got the App Store pages done today. So yeah, we'll be able to push to development on the 25th. That's when it'll all kick off.
Interesting.
So we're on track so far.
From my experience, I double the quote I get from my developers,
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
because there's always going to be revisions back and forth, blah blah blah, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's fair. As we were going through the design, we removed 2 features that were going to take a lot of dev time. And this was during my meeting with my friend Elia, who works on some pretty large iOS apps. He's like, this is going to take dev time. This is going to take a lot of dev time. Remove these. Let's get the MVP out right now, and then we can add them in later. So yeah, his advice was get the MVP out as soon as possible and start to get sales immediately. All the features you want to add might not be practical to add from a development standpoint, which obviously you know, and then they might not be the features that your users want to use anyways.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
How are you planning on talking with your users?
Are you asking me or rhetorically?
No, I'm asking.
We have a chat built into the app.
Okay. What
Is that
else?
what you mean? I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay. All right.
What do you suggest?
I mean, this is definitely advice that I was given that I now I'll reciprocate. Do the things that don't scale in the very beginning, which is email every single person that signs up to your wait list individually from your own email, asking to get on a call with them, and ask them questions, what you're looking for, where, like, try to figure out through that who your customer avatar actually is, what their problems actually are, what they're actually wanting to know and see within something.
Got it.
Remember,
Yeah,
I did
that's
that.
good
I
advice.
did that with you with Stammer 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and all the things that you were doing in your agency helped influence me on what to build, and Lucas, as you says. So yeah,
Okay, I'm going to start to do that. I'll actually get on the phone with people and ask them about features.
yeah. Because I think that's the biggest delta between our shiny object entrepreneur mind and what people are actually willing to pay for.
Yeah, for sure. We're also going to, relative to the competition, we're seriously underpricing first, because I just want to get into the habit of getting users in, getting them to add their credit card, and getting them to pay for the MVP before we actually start trying to turn a profit on it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Oh, Lucas asked, mind if I join to say hi?
Yeah, come on down.
Anything else notable for this week?
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
iOS, man.
It's a beast.
Are you using what are you using to like manage all your leads and everything?
We're using Brevo. I know they recently rebranded. What was it before? When I say it, you're gonna recognize it.
Send in Blue.
Yep, that's the one.
Still don't know what that is.
Really? Oh, dude, this is such a popular software. Anyway, what's up, Lucas?
Hey there, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So,
Cold calls go.
yeah,
yeah.
how the conversations?
Yeah, it was tough.
Are you actually able to call or actually talk with anybody?
Oh yeah. As I wrote to Brock, I didn't quite do 100 yet. I did Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Yesterday was yesterday was a bit of a busy day, but yeah, it's interesting.
So, what are the? Do you want to walk us through it? What's the pitch like? What are you saying to people when you get them on the phone?
Well, the first part is just getting to make sure you're talking to the right person, right? That is, yeah, that ends in either a very often not successful phone, what do you call it? Put to another line, or with an email to somebody responsible for that sort of thing. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the nature of cold calling, but you can increase those percentages by getting the first person who answers the phone, getting them excited. If they feel like it's an opportunity that the owner needs to know about, then there's a higher likelihood that they will pass you on to the decision maker. So
Yeah,
how's the conversation starting? What's the first thing that you're saying?
um,
I'm putting you on the spot.
oh no worries, no worries. That'll probably be like, hi, this is Lucas. How are you doing? Or something like that. Yeah, and then just getting straight to the point. Like, I was hoping there would be any chance you could point me in the direction of anybody who handles e-commerce or your website, stuff like that. Yeah.
Got it. I think what you're missing there is the hook to get people excited about the product. Because if you say, hi, it's Lucas, can I speak to John? They're like, where are you calling from? Say, I'm calling from here. I want to talk to the person in charge of your website. I think that you're just missing the hook. Like the person that answers the phone needs to feel your excitement and feel like they need to pass this on to the decision maker, the business owner. So if you answer the phone and you're like, hey, it's Lucas, I'm looking for John or the person in charge of your website. It's just there's no energy and there's no reason why they would want to pass on the conversation. So I think if you say, what's your agency called?
HI Solutions.
HI Solutions?
HAI, yeah.
HAI Solutions, cool. So if you open it up with, hey, I'm Lucas calling from HAI Solutions. Now I need to think about what I would say. I'd normally have this written down, but if you said something like, we're one of the leading chat providers in AI conversations and AI phone calls that integrates into all of your social channels. We're working with dozens of companies to alleviate thousands of hours of customer service, and you were on my list as a business that would seriously benefit from our software. Something like that. I'd probably refine it, but like if you explain the benefit that they're going to get immediately in as short of a sentence as possible, and then you ask specifically for who you want to speak to rather than, I want to talk to the person in charge of your website, just say, I want to chat with John. We connected on LinkedIn and I just wanted to follow up on the phone. Is he there? Is he in his office? And if you don't know who to talk to, find it out. Find it out on LinkedIn, use hunter.io, try to get the name of the person that owns the business. And that will give you a higher likelihood of getting pushed through or them taking at least a note and then trying to pass you on to the business owner. It's not going to work every time because that's just the nature of cold calling, but it'll probably increase your percentages of getting through.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Have you had a conversation with anybody yet?
One, I would definitely count one that ended up in me sending him an email with all the details about it. And one other that ended up on the fact that they just not at the scale they want to be at and they don't want to get ahead of themselves. That was the quote. But other than that, not really. No, yeah. But that's 2 out of a 60, 70 goals, so I guess that's not that bad.
I mean, 2 out of 60 or 70 is like 1.5%. That's pretty good. I mean, it's more than that. It's like 3%. But for the not at the scale we want to be at, You can say, well, that's the beauty of this platform. We work with really small businesses that are even doing under 100K. The point is that you don't have to wear the customer service hat. You don't have to follow up with every lead manually. You don't have to answer the phone every single time. This is going to save you a lot of time so that you can focus on all the other things that are involved in running your business. This is going to streamline it for you, and it's going to save you a ton of money, because you know how expensive it is to hire contractors or hire people. What we're trying to do is reduce that cost for people and give you an even better way of engaging with your customers or something like that. I don't know. The pain point should be specific to the business. But practice pushing back on those objections, because even if they say, like, no, fuck off, I'm not interested, at least you're going to get some practice pushing back on the objectives that people will eventually continuously ask you. And then the second piece is what you're sending them after. I'd love to see what that is. I've sent thousands of proposals and follow-ups. So yeah, if you want, you can send it to me and I can give you some feedback on it.
Yeah, I will. Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Are you doing anything else to reach out to customers other than cold calls?
Yeah, a couple emails. But now with the open phone subscription, I try to make as best use of it as I can. So yeah, that's that now. But yeah, I got a lot of email addresses to the people responsible, or just saying that they have a note and they'll forward it to the responsible person. So yeah, email also, but that's it. I tried a couple DMs, but out of 100, 200, I haven't had one response probably.
They're tough unless you have the social proof, or it's a offer that is so disgustingly killer and on point that someone's like, oh, how did this person like read my mind?
Yeah.
That's the only time when I've opted in. And to be fair, my current video editor cold DM'd me. He has like 2 followers and 0 videos posted, or like maybe one video posted on his account. And for whatever reason, that DM like captured my interest, because at that exact moment I was looking for a new video editor. So that's the one caveat if you don't have the social proof is, so if you sent a bunch of DMs and didn't get any responses, definitely switch it up, keep trying, but try to make it where you're not acting, or like you can go a little crazy with those DMs to get people's attentions. And there's a lot of different ways I've seen that be successful. So, but just like cold calling and everything else and content creation, the cheesy quote of, it's not about how many punches you throw, it's about how many punches you can take and keep going. And cold calling is, I mean, the most punchy thing that you could probably do. Just getting smacked in the face. Fuck you, hang up, But
content creation can be pretty punchy too. You get 100 views, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But for the DM thing, I've noticed there's 3 aspects that make up a really good DM. The first one is the offer. I think the reason why so many video editors have a higher response rate than anybody else is because the offer is so good. The pitch is always like, hey, I found your X video, or I found it on YouTube, or I found one of your pieces of content. I think it could be better. Can I make a version of it for you for free, completely edited, that you can take and post? And if you like it and if the video does well, I'll continue to work for you. It's like, sure, I'll take a free sample, right? It's like being at Costco and then they give you a free sample. You're going to say no? Like, sure, I'll try it. It's the free sample model. And then the other 2 parts are having a really good page, like having some recognition. So the more content you have, like Ross is probably going to have a higher response rate on DMs than you or I would.
Well, let's roast some cold DMs here.
Yeah, what's your script? Let's see it.
We can look at ones that people are sending me.
Okay.
And never mind, Instagram's not working.
Fucking Riverside makes everything slow. All right, well, Lucas, what's your DM script?
I can take a look right now. Truth is, I haven't really sent an offer within the DM, which, come to think of it, is quite a waste, given that the offer of a free chatbot build is such a good opportunity, since it's a monthly revenue-based thing. That is one thing that's one big thing that I need to change right now.
But that's okay. What are you saying in the first message?
Well, give me a second.
Just, hey, Can I tell you about this? Or
I can read you one, I guess. It's one went like this. Hey, pilot mole team. Lucas, founder, blah blah blah. The first sentence was something personalized, something regarding their stuff and the connections between us. Next one was along the lines of, I believe a custom AI assistant could enhance customer interactions, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Looking forward to connecting. Best.
Try doing ones that are like, hey, I can make you 100K next, I can save you $100,000 next year in your customer support costs, and period. Nothing else.
Oh yeah,
No
all right.
intro, no name, no personalization, just raw value up front where there's no question of what the person's actually going to be getting. And at the end of the day, it's
Alrighty.
saving money or making money. And if you can get them to respond quickly or at all, like that allows you to then send that secondary message or follow up saying, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's how I can do that for you.
yeah.
That's very smart. And this could go for an email subject as well, quite well.
Could be, yeah. Cold emails is a little, I mean, it's similar. You can be less formal, I think, in
Yeah,
DMs where,
of course. Yeah.
yeah, like lowercasing things, like purposefully, like doing those types of things to make it seem like, oh, this guy just kind of like sent me a message, even though it's a mass outbound campaign.
Yeah. Asterisks on mass outbound campaign. You need a fuckload of volume for cold email. Like
Yeah.
thousands per day.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, thousands per day for sure. Yeah,
Use instantly for that.
yeah, instantly. I
I've
haven't
used them
tried
all,
it yet,
dude.
but
Instantly is the best. Trust me.
mail scale to connect to instantly to do branded domains for inboxes. So you can whip up like 100 inboxes from mail scale and then connect those to instantly.
That's smart. I just added the mailboxes in Squarespace and then just connected them through DNS settings. But that's probably more cumbersome.
Well, and fucking expensive. If you're trying to run 1,000 emails, like you're gonna be paying.
I mean,
$6.
it's like, yeah, it's like $6 or $7 a month per email, and you need 10 of them. So it's not crazy.
Yeah,
Anyway, mail scale, instantly try those out. You can always use good old faithful of making content with the call to action to comment this keyword and then setting up the integration in ManyChat. That one is so surefire because it builds engagement. You're getting content out there. You're getting brand awareness.
yeah.
Takes more time, but it's such a surefire way to grow. Look at every one of Ross's videos. There's some type of ManyChat integration. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the next iteration of this will be because now a lot of people are using this strategy and doing this strategy. Yeah, I'm now honestly thinking of doing something else or like other. I don't know. Like now that everyone's doing it, I'm like, oh, what I got to do something different, you know. But the devil on my shoulder is telling me like, shut up, stick with what's working, don't change what's working. So yeah.
Yeah, always the battle of shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, cool.
Yep, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, some good value at the end here. Maybe that will be some good clips.
Good to hear you guys again.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Lucas. And
As always.
we'll catch up next week. And then Brock, just make sure you stay on to make sure everything uploads this time.
Yeah, will do.
Cool. All right. I'll talk to you guys
Alrighty.
later.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye bye.